Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Robert White. And I'm so happy that you are here now. Finally, you said yes to our interview. And how are you doing today?
Carolyn, it is that time of year in Colorado when the seasons change and my allergies kick up. So I'm sniffling, but I'm happy to be with you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I would love to introduce you to the audience. Of course, you are a pioneering force in personal transformational growth, both in the US and Asia. You are a speaker, trainer, author, and consultant, and you founded and led two impactful experiential learning companies, reaching over 1 million graduates. Despite facing personal and professional setbacks, including the loss of your business and marriage, you have used these experiences to mentor executives committed to living extraordinary lives. A best selling author and leadership expert, you continue to inspire and guide leaders toward personal and professional fulfillment. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Robert White. Oh my.
Thank you, Carolyn. That it's an old joke, but kind of a appropriate one. Is after I listen to that introduction, I can't wait to hear what I have to say.
No, that's true. And I didn't know this joke yet. Thank you for telling me. And how did your early life challenges shape your approach to personal and professional transformation?
The biggest piece of that, Carolyn, is a very simple statement that if given the beginning that I did have in my life of poverty and abuse and insecurity and a lot of criticism, uh, the conclusion for me is that with that beginning, it proves to me that anybody can become hugely successful. Anybody can contribute what they have, whatever it is that they have. And in my case, it's a voice and a certain experience that I had with early training experiences that changed my life for the better.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So important. And what key insights did you gain from leading transformational programs that have impacted over 1 million people?
Well, I learned a lot there are two aspects to that. One is building the business to support those trainings. And I think I was pretty good at that, and I have been good at that. The other is actually leading the trainings. And in the early days, I did lead them, a startup, and you don't have any money to hire other trainers, so you do it yourself. And I did go back to that about 7 years ago. And uh, uh, and that experience has been really interesting to me because in order to do that and do it well, it took the 20 years where I wasn't doing it, where I was just training trainers, I was running the company, I was the hidden person behind the scenes, and that was a choice that I made because of, and maybe that's a way to talk about a chapter in my book. When my book came out, and some very people I really respect raved about it and bought 20 copies for their friends, and it was really a wonderful experience. And I was so nervous about the public aspect of a book, of coming out from behind the scenes. And uh, and then I started noticing people would say, well, I really like your book and I'm buying copies for my friends or for my employees, but I was disappointed. So of course I would say, disappointed about what?
Yeah.
And they would say, and the book's title is Living an Extraordinary Life. And they said, I thought the book would be about you and your extraordinary life. And I'd say, no, it's about our graduates. It's about the intersection between people's real life experience and our material and our experience that we're promoting. And what I didn't say then, but I've been more public about it recently, is there is one chapter in the book that's about me. It doesn't say that in the book. It's just another chapter in the book. But the chapter is titled uh, "The Most Disabling belief is you are not enough. So I operated for most of my working life from that hidden statement in terms of my belief. And I've done enough therapy, I've done enough other people's trainings, I've done enough of our work to know where it came from. You know, a hypercritical mother. And I realized that she implanted in me that belief that you are not enough. So that no matter what I did,
Yeah.
it wasn't enough. And for me, the last, say, 10 years of my life, and it's really shown up in my work in front of people with executive groups, is, and I don't talk about it, but the truth is, for me, I'm enough. I finally accepted that God gave me some gifts and that's enough. And yes, I'll make some mistakes, and yes, I'll fail sometimes. And yes, maybe I won't live up to my potential. But most of the time, I think I'm a pretty good man and a pretty good performer, pretty good uh, coach, pretty good trainer for executives, and that I'm enough. Uh, I don't need to. I don't need to do anything to be enough. I guess would be another way to say it.
Yeah, I have several quotes for that, and I don't know how where to begin, but I know exactly. So if you know who you are, you don't need to do anything to be someone. I think if I translate this from German, I don't know, but I think the message is clear. And then I was thinking about this being enough or not being enough the whole day. Today it was my topic, and I came to the conclusion that if I feel enough inside for myself, as you mentioned it, it's your perception, it's your belief now, then you have enough on the outside as well. And this was my aha moment today. So thank you so much for sharing.
Well, it has been a journey, and I accomplished a lot thinking I was not enough because my reaction to that internally was, "I'll show you. I'll
Yeah.
show you what I can do, even though I'm not enough. I'll show you." And you know that led to the 1,300,000 graduates. That led to a beautiful home in Aspen and my own jet, and you know all of those kinds of things. Uh, what it didn't include was joy and satisfaction. And in working with the executives I work with today, what I notice is they're all super smart. They work hard. They're disciplined. They're inspired and inspiring in lots of ways. Quite often, the neglected person in that is themselves. And so, in that way, they're similar to me. And one of the things we work on, I mean, first of all, you know, people hire me and pay me a lot of money to improve performance. And we got to do that first. But what also for me, because it's been so rewarding in my own life and I've seen it so often, I want to also have people really enjoy what they're doing to bring joy and satisfaction to themselves, to their families, to their immediate intimate circle, and that they really gain all of the benefits of the hard work they've done. And so that's been yeah, again, it started with me, my own experience, but helping executive teams connect, find out that they actually love each other, that working together toward common goals inspires an incredible amount of trust and satisfaction and can be joyful. So that's what I've been working on, but it's all around my own journey.
Oh, thank you so much also for sharing about your hidden chapter where you tell your own story. I have to look up your book, and of course I put it on the Amazon list I created for all the beautiful books from my podcast guests. Yes, this is amazing. I have one last question for you. After experiencing both immense success and profound loss, what advice do you have for leaders looking to rebuild and start fresh?
You know, I did something in my most recent trip living in China. I did something I had never done before, which is a lot of public speaking. You know, public speaking is an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Our work is usually 4 or 5 days, so it's quite a bit different. And so it was an incredible experience. And one of the things that I noticed is that I don't use a script. I do use an outline when I'm speaking. And I notice that just I connect to the audience and something comes up. Uh, but one of the things that was happening quite often was that I noticed, I'd go back to the hotel and I would notice that I quoted two people that I didn't want to quote. One was the late Stephen Covey, the author of the Seven Habits book. And it's all about jealousy and ego because he's sold 25 million copies and I haven't. So I didn't want to be quoting him, but there's a couple of quotes from his book that are just so great. The other was my former wife, and I've noticed she had a lot of wisdom that is unexplainable, and that's why I was quoting her. But that one of the things that she talked about was how you process grief or how you process failure, and I learned a lot from her in that regard, and that's really what I share. I think the big thing is to reconnect to your purpose. Now, if you haven't gotten clear about your purpose in the first place, then you've got some work to do. But why is this unique person on this planet? And one of my graduates, become a really good friend, a really brilliant marketing advisor named Arjun Sen, and he says, "You are one of one. You're one of one." Almost 8 billion people on the planet. There's nobody with your fingerprint. There's nobody with exactly your set of personality, of intelligence, of all of that talent, skills, and when the failures come, getting yourself up off that floor because it hurts and it's embarrassing and all of the stuff and reminds you of every negative thought you ever had about yourself. The way to come back is to reconnect to why you're here. What's your purpose in living and working? And I have found that to be extremely powerful. And a couple of my major failures is to take that deep breath, stop running that mental racket, and reconnect to why you exist. Why did God put you here?
Wow, this is a great message. Thank you so much for being on the Inspired podcast. This was our interview, and please reach out to Robert. He's amazing. He shares his knowledge and wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. It's wonderful being with you.
And see you in the next episode.